Hello again. This is Vivia Fowler, pastor of Epworth United Methodist Church on Camp Road in James Island. Thank you for joining us again for Epworth Bible Moments. The book of Genesis is based on a very complex family tree, and we find many genealogies in Genesis. Chapter 4 reveals Adam's family tree, and since the earth had to be repopulated after the flood, chapters 10 through 11 introduce us to Noah's family, descendants of his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Find an Old Testament map and see how many cities and regions match the names of Noah's descendants. Note how many descendants of Ham and Japheth later became enemies of the Israelites who were descendants of Shem. In fact, Genesis 11 through 26 connects Shem's offspring to Abraham's, the next major character in the Genesis narrative. The remainder of the book introduces us to the genealogy of Abraham and the 12 sons of his grandson, Jacob, who became the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, before we meet Abraham, let's take a look at the Tower of Babel story in chapter 11. The people of the earth wanted to erect a tower up to the heavens. They wanted to make a name for themselves, lest they be scattered abroad, says verse 4. Read chapter 11, verses 1 through 9, and notice the similarity with the second creation story. God comes down to earth. God sees. God has human-like qualities, even seeming threatened by the growing numbers and strength of humans, just as God seemed threatened by the increased knowledge of Adam and Eve. This literary device, giving God human form and qualities, is called anthropomorphism. In this case, God responded by scattering the people abroad and confusing them with many languages. This is another story that reflects how ancient people attributed to God things like why people speak different languages and where different cultures came from. But it also conveyed a lesson. God is God, and people are not God, so don't even try. In their effort to prevent being scattered, they were scattered, and the tower was named Babel. It will be a long time before we get to the book of Acts in the New Testament, but take a moment to read Acts chapter 2, verses 1 through 13, and see how the biblical story of the Pentecost miracle reverses the language confusion from the Tower of Babel. And join us next time for Epworth Bible Moments.